Hey everyone, I hope you are up for a challenge today. You might remember last fall, I published a circuit and Tabata workout class. It was 45 minutes, total body. The first half was lower body, the second half was upper body and core focused. And I published one for free on YouTube, I'll link to it below. And then I also have an additional 4 that you can purchase, which use the same structure, just different exercises, so you're always getting a different workout. Well, today, I basically have another free version of that. This one is all body weight though. Those require minimal equipment, but you do need a resistance band loop and a set of weights. This, all body weight exercises. Today I'm publishing the lower body half, and then next week I'll share the upper body and core portion. If you want a total body longer workout, just do the 2 back to back once they're both live. And if you love this format, lucky you, I have a whole pack of these classes that you can download. Once you pay the $30 to download them, you can either stream them right from the app, or you can log in on YouTube and I'll give you private links so you can do it just as you do these other workouts. All the information for that is linked below. If you're new to this format, it's broken up into a circuit and then a Tabata blast. For the circuit, I'm going to give you 5 exercises. You go through them 4 times. You stay on each exercise for 45 seconds and you try to do all 5 back to back, no rest. We then rest for 30 seconds before repeating the circuit. Now, when we're halfway through the circuit, I'm going to give you a full minute to recover because this is an intense one, and I don't know about you guys, but I definitely needed that full minute at the halfway point. For the Tabata, I'm going to give you 2 exercises. You use an interval structure of 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, and you alternate between those 2 exercises for 8 rounds total. Before the circuit, I'll show you all 5 exercises, and I'll also show you how to modify them, and then I'll do the same before the Tabata. Now, even if you're pretty advanced and you don't normally take the modifications, I would pay attention to them on this one. The circuit especially is meant to be really challenging, and I know I myself had to do those modifications at certain times. As with all workouts, you want to make sure you're properly warmed up beforehand. I have a couple warm-ups on my channel that I've linked to below, and you always want to listen to your body. Again, take those modifications as needed. Stop if something doesn't feel right. If you're new to my channel, I don't play music in the background because I want you to be able to listen to whatever you like. So if you don't have a playlist or a TV show queued up, you might want to get that going. And with all that said, let's get to the preview of our circuit. Okay, so we're going to start with a sumo squat and we'll add a heel raise at the bottom of the squat. This first move and the last one in the circuit, they're not too bad. It's the middle 3 that are going to be really challenging. So let's start with toes angled out wide. Feet are a little wider than shoulder width apart, and you're going to sink down low. You lift your heels up, you drop your heels, and then you stand. Now, you want your knees tracking in line with your middle toes. So if you have tight hips, you might notice those knees wanting to cave inward. Don't let them. Think of spiraling your thighs open, squeeze through your glutes, and make sure that they're always pointing in line with your middle toes. Now, if that's not happening, then your toes might be a little too wide. I want you to bring them in a little closer to pointing forward. So the goal is to get through these 5 exercises without stopping. I showed you those modifications for a reason. If it gets to be too much, you can always take those modifications, but try not to stop. Coming up next, we're going to come into a surrender knee drive. Okay, so you start in a low squat position and you're gonna step one knee down at a time. You're gonna step one foot up, and as you do, you're gonna drive off that front foot and the opposite knee comes up towards your chest. So notice whatever knee drives up, I'm then bringing it right back down. That way I'm alternating which foot I'm driving off of each time. Now, I want these to be explosive. I don't care so much about how many reps you get in the 45 seconds. I care that when you drive off that front foot and stand and hop up, it is powerful. So pace yourself and then really explode off that front foot. Coming up next, we're going to isolate one leg. We are going to come into a tabletop position and we are going to do a hydrant to a donkey kick while the other foot is hovering. So I have my right foot down and with the right knee hovering, and then my left leg is kicking up in the donkey and lifting up to the side for the hydrant. Now, yes, that left leg is moving and working, but the focus is actually the quad on your right side in this one. If it gets to be too much, drop that right knee for a few reps, but keep going with the donkey and hydrant kicks, as I'm doing now. Now, think of this modification as temporary, so you drop it down, give me a couple reps, and then try to go into the hover because, again, I want the focus of this to be that right thigh. And we're going to continue our work on that right leg coming up next. So you're going to find a low lunge position with your right foot forward. You're going to give me a little sprinter hop, and then you're going to take that back left leg and you're going to kick it forward. So a little low hop on the right side, and then stand up, kick that front leg forward. When you do the kick, core is in tight. Now, oops, as I lose my balance. Now, when you do that sprinter hop, you have a big lean forward with your torso. That's going to shift all the weight into that front heel. You're not hunching though, okay? So I don't care if your fingers touch the floor or not. I want you to think of open chest, long spine, kind of slide your shoulder blades down your back. And you don't have to get a lot of air with that hop. Little hop, land low, and then stand and kick. Final few seconds here. We got one exercise to go in the circuit and then you get to rest. We are going to find a low squat position, and from here you're just going to do a lateral tap. So the goal is to stay low the whole time. Weight is in your heels, and then whatever foot is stepping out for that tap, it is so light. I don't want you to shift weight into the ball of the foot that's tapping, okay? The weight stays in the heel of the stationary side. Button hips down and back. We have a big hinge forward with the torso, but the chest stays open. Reach your tailbone long. 20 seconds to go. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't find this one too bad. This one and the first one, not terrible. Those middle 3, woo, challenging. Final 10 seconds. Could you get 1 inch lower? Keep it up. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to rest. We're going to repeat that. The only changes when we repeat it is when we get to those 2 exercises that isolate one side, we will just isolate the left leg instead of the right. Okay, let's get ready for that sumo squat with the heel raise. Feet wide, toes angled out, knees tracking in line with middle toes. And you're going to sink down to the bottom. Lift those heels up coming onto the balls of your feet. Drop the heels and then drive up to stand. So when you drive up to stand, you're powering through the heels. You're squeezing your bum at the top, but don't disengage through your core. Now, in a sumo squat, unlike a regular squat, you're not going to have that huge hinge forward with the torso like we do in a regular squat. If you have the hip mobility, you'll actually keep your torso pretty upright for this one. Now, that being said, if you have tight hips, you're going to still need a little lean forward, but it's just not as pronounced as a regular squat. Let's check in with those knees. Remember, think of kind of spiraling the thighs open and squeeze your bum so the knees are tracking in line with those middle toes. Now we're coming into that surrender, into the knee drive. So one knee goes down at a time, and then you bring a foot forward and you're driving off that front leg. Give me a little knee up and a hop. I don't care about how many reps you get in. I want it to be explosive. So take your time as you kneel, and stand, and then drive off that front foot. And remember, you're alternating every time. So it goes right, drive off of it, and then that left knee comes down, right, left, drive off that front leg. You have just about 10 seconds to go. You got this. Can you get in one more rep each side? We're going to start isolating the left leg next. We're going to come into that bear plank, that sort of tabletop. This time you're going to tuck your left toes, hover the left knee a couple inches, and you're going to do the donkey kicks on the right side. So your right leg is going to drive up, and then you're going to hinge it open. Now the focus is that left quad. When it is on fire and yelling at you and you just can't hold the hover anymore, drop the left knee down to the floor. Give me a couple donkey kicks and hydrants with the knee down, and then return to the hovering tabletop when you can. Now, when you're doing the kicks and the hydrants, make sure you're not compensating by dumping your low back down to the floor. So your core needs to be really active. Knit your ribs together, draw your navel in towards the spine. Final few seconds. We got those sprinter hops coming up next. All right, in your low lunge position, your left foot's going to be forward this time. Left foot forward, right foot back. Big hinge forward with the torso, fingertips kind of frame that front foot. Give me a low sprinter hop, and then stand and kick that back right leg forward. And again, I want you to get really low through the torso. Your chest is almost parallel to that front thigh, but I don't want you to hunch and round through the back. So slide the shoulder blades down your back, long spine, and don't worry if the fingers actually touch the floor. That's not important. 10 seconds to go. Burn it out. You got it. We have that nicer move on the other side of this one. Woo, okay, let's find that low squat position, and we just do those lateral taps. So tap one foot to the side, then the next, holding low as you do this. If you have really tight hips and stepping laterally like this feels very constricted, you could also always step back into a back lunge instead of the side lunge. That would be a good option. All right, now you're about halfway there. Could you sit 1 inch lower? Maybe you try to pick up the pace a little bit of the tap, side, side. Top priority goes to staying low throughout it. Core is active, reach your tailbone long. Under 10 seconds to go. I'm going to give you a full minute to recover after this. Woo, shake it out. All right, while you recover, I'm going to show you those modifications again, okay? So if you look to the screen, I will remind you how to modify all these exercises in case you need it during the second half. Okay, you kind of set the bar for yourself in the first half. Now I want you to try your best to match that performance this second half. Easier said than done, I know. We got those sumo squats with the heel raise coming up. Sink low, lift those heels, lower them, and stand. As you stand, you're squeezing your seat at the top, really fire up through the glutes. If you do not feel your glutes active on this, let's make sure once again, and I know I'm a broken record, but that those knees are angled outward in the same direction as our toes. They're not caving inward. So activate through the seat, spiral those thighs open. Picture you're making fists with your butt cheeks, okay? I know that sounds weird, but we got to actively think about squeezing through the seat. Ten seconds to go here, and then we'll take it into those surrenders with that knee drive. If these bother your knees coming up, you can always double over your mat so that when you kneel down, you have some padding under it. And if this just doesn't work for your knees, period, remember those modifications. You can always step back into a low lunge instead of coming all the way down to the knees. Drive off that front heel. If the hop is getting to be too much, maybe you just stand up and drive that knee instead of hopping. You can always dial down the intensity in these, but I want you to try to stay active through the whole 45 seconds. You got this. Last few seconds here, we're going to start isolating the right leg. So you're going to come to that bear plank, that hovering tabletop. Right thigh will be the focus. So hands under shoulders, tuck your right toes on the floor, hover the right knee a couple inches, and now your left heel's driving up, and then your left knee is hinging open. So you're keeping that knee kind of at a 90-degree angle, and then you just drive the knee up, and then you lift the knee up laterally. Core is active, draw the navel towards the spine. Now the leg that isn't moving, that right thigh should be on fire here. As needed, you can drop the right knee, do a couple kicks and hydrants with it down, but then try to lift it right back up, okay? Final few seconds here, and we're going to continue the burn on that right leg with those sprinter hops. Okay, right foot forward, low lunge position, huge hinge forward with the torso, fingertips reach towards the floor, framing that front foot, but you do not need to actually touch the ground. Just get as low as joint mobility allows. And when you do that kick, don't worry about how high the leg is going. Oop, I keep falling in this one. Don't worry about how high the leg is going. It kind of depends on flexibility a little bit, but I do want your core active. So draw the navel towards the spine as you kick that foot forward. Last time you have to do this exercise on this leg. Final few seconds here. You got it. Remember, nicer move is on the other side. We go to those low squat holds with the little side taps. All right, weight in your heels, button hips back and down, holding low. You're just going to tap right, tap left. And the goal is to not transfer weight into the tapping foot. So it's very light. Weight is in the heel of the stationary side. Button hips down and back. We're hinging forward with the torso. We're not hunching though. Reach your tailbone long, chest is broad. You have 15 seconds to go. Could you sit a little lower in this squat, or maybe you try to pick up the pace a little bit. Tap, center, tap, center, tap, center. Final few seconds and I'll give you a rest. Shake it out. You have 30 seconds here. If you need longer, pause the video. Maybe you take another full minute. That is absolutely fine. We have to go through this circuit just one final time. You're pros at it by now. Let's start getting ready for that sumo squat. Heels in, toes out, knees tracking in line with middle toes. We sink down low, we lift those heels, we drop them, and we stand. If the heel raise isn't working for you, you have options. You could always hold on to something if that helps you balance, or you could eliminate it altogether and you could just focus on that sumo squat down and up. You have 20 seconds to go. If anyone's feeling ambitious, could you add in a squat, a sumo squat hop? So you do the heel raise, and then when your heels are down, you would hop up into the air and down. I'm not taking that option, but throwing it out there for you guys. We have that surrender to the knee drive coming up. All right, final time you're gonna see this one. I know this one is tough. You got it. Right, right, and drive off that front foot. And then alternate sides. So every time you step up, you should be driving off of the opposite leg. I don't care about rep number. I care about explosiveness. When you drive and hop that knee up, I want you to get some air and then land with control. 20 seconds to go, which means you are past that halfway point. You can do it. You don't have to do this exercise again. Final few seconds, and then we're going to start isolating that left leg for the next two moves. You got it. Give me one more. Let's find that bear plank. So tuck your left toes. The left knee is going to hover 2 to 3 inches off the floor. And then your right leg is going to do the donkey kick and the fire hydrant. Both legs are absolutely working on here. But I want you to focus on the burn you're getting in that isometric hold on your left side. If it gets to be too much, drop the left knee for a couple reps, but then try to get right back into it. Now, let's talk about the height of your hips. I want them to stay right around shoulder height. So as that left thigh starts to burn out, it's going to be very tempting to pike your butt up to the ceiling. Don't let that happen. You want to keep your left knee at about a 90-degree bend. Final few seconds here. We're going to take it into those sprinter hops, still isolating our left leg. Okay, left foot forward in the low lunge. Big hinge forward with the torso. Fingertips frame your front foot. We hop, and then you drive that back knee up to that front kick. When you do the hop, you're staying low, so your feet are just getting a couple inches off the ground. By keeping this lean forward with the torso, all the weight of our body is shifted forward into that target leg. Whew, I'm struggling. We got 15 seconds to go, though. Right to the end, let's stay active. We can do this. I'm right there with you. Little hop and kick. Last move coming up. All right, let's find that low squat position, and you're going to give me those little side taps. So holding low, tap right, tap left. You are going to try to stay low the entire time, all right? We're done with this circuit after this. Make this your best one yet. Could you sink a little lower, or maybe you try to pick up the pace a little bit? That's what I'm going to try to do. Tap, center, tap, center, tap, center. I don't care what your arms are doing. They could be in front of you, on your hips, behind your back, but I want you to keep that chest open. When I notice my shoulders hunching, I bring arms behind my back like they are now, and it just helps remind me. Slide the shoulder blades down the back, chest broad, core in tight. Can you sink a little lower? You're almost there, last couple seconds. And done with the circuit. Okay, you have a minute to recover, and while you do, I'm going to show you what to expect from our Tabata. Okay, we have 4 minutes of interval work left in this workout. So I want you to mirror me for these curtsy hops. So have your right foot forward and step your left foot behind it. In that low curtsy, you're gonna hop, and then you're gonna drive that back knee up, and as you do, you hop off that right foot. So we hop low, and then you drive up and stand. When you do the hop low, you do not need to get a lot of air. Just a little hop off the floor, land back in that curtsy, and then drive your back knee up. 10 seconds to rest here. So we're gonna go into squat jack jumps. If you've done my workouts before, you know this exercise well. I do it all the time. Sinking low in a squat, you're gonna jack your feet in narrow, back out wide, and then you give me a regular squat jump up, landing low in that squat. So it's in, out, up, down. Ten seconds to rest. Okay, we're gonna come back into that curtsy hop. This time your left foot is forward, step your right foot back. We'll isolate this left leg here. Low curtsy hop, and then drive that right knee up as you hop off your left foot. So yes, I want these quick. Yes, I want you to get in as many reps as possible, but as soon as form starts going out the window, I need you to slow down a little bit or take out some of the hops, okay? So maybe you just do the low hop and then you stand and drive the knee up instead of hopping upright. Rest. All right, round 2 of those squat jack jumps. Now, when you're low in the squat jack, weight is in your heels, button hips down and back, knees tracking in line with middle toes, and then I want an explosive jump off. And you're landing softly, so you land right back down in that low squat. If these get to be too much, instead of doing the squat jump, just stand
but keep the jack. Or you could always do the opposite and just give me squat jumps. And rest, just like that. You're at the halfway point. All right, let's isolate the right leg with that curtsy hop. Right foot forward, left foot crosses behind. We get low, little hop, knee drive, hop. You got it. 2 minutes left in this entire workout. You got this. Modify as needed. You can always take out some of the hops, but you're going to stay active the entire 20 seconds. That is the goal. That is what makes Tabata so effective. And rest. Okay, done isolating the right leg. Squat, jack, jumps. Let's go. Feet in, out, give me that jump. I don't know about you guys, but I am struggling in this one. We got this. Just 3 intervals of work to go. And rest. Okay, we got to isolate the left leg in that curtsy hop. By my facial expressions, you can tell I am ready for this workout to be over. Little curtsy hop, drive that knee up. Don't worry so much about how high you're getting. Little hops here. Stay low when you do that curtsy hop. And then maybe get a little, never mind, rest. Talking too much, not looking at the clock. All right, final interval of work. Let's do this. We find that low squat position. We're gonna jack our feet in, out, and jump up. 20 seconds, give it your all, okay? I want you to get to those final beeps and feel like you could not have given 1 more ounce of effort. We're past the halfway point, you got this. And done. Awesome work.
Hope you enjoyed this workout. If you did, you know the drill. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you particularly liked this structure, again, my Circuit and Tabata class pack is available for purchase. You get 5 full-length, 45-minute workouts that you can do at home with minimal equipment. Link to that is below. I'll see you next week with the second half of this workout, which will focus on upper body and core.